Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be building a colonial home. I just got the itch to kind of build a bigger house than I normally would. Normally in Sims, I just kind of build smaller to medium-sized houses that usually only take me about an hour to an hour and a half, just because I really love the gameplay aspects of Sims. And so the houses that I usually build are houses that I want to include in different lives that I've created, and so spending a whole lot of time building the house when like the family I'm working with only can afford so much, like making a really big house wouldn't really make sense. I do occasionally do generation challenges where we have like a house that we kind of want our end goal to be, which usually costs like over $200,000, and those are the houses that I spend like 4 or 5 hours making and a lot of time. And those are the houses that I would put like at the end of one of my generations. But I only build them like occasionally just because really big houses take a really long time. Now, not to say that this is like a super huge house, but it did take a long time. It was the first part is about 42 minutes. And then the second part of recording, it took me about an hour and a little bit over an hour and a half. And so altogether it was a little bit over 2 hours, which I would consider kind of like a medium to high size build. I think a large part of it was when I started building and I was looking through Google for things that kind of get inspiration from and everything. I wasn't really for sure on my color scheme or what I wanted to do. So like you can kind of see here, I really like these big windows that we got from Strangerville, but the blue on those shutters don't match any of the blue shuttered windows in the rest of the game. So like the blue in the Strangerville is a little bit darker, and then the ones from the rest of the game are like a little bit of a brighter blue, which is super annoying. I don't know why Sims doesn't match like their color schemes, because like these windows look like they would go together really well, but like if you try to do the blues don't match, so it's super annoying. So I ended up going with black shutters instead and kind of going for a little bit more of a classical look versus going for a little bit of a bright happy look. But I think either way it turned out really nicely. So the window decisions you're seeing here probably took me actually like 4 or 5 minutes to decide on. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, so I got the inspiration for this build from a house I saw on Google that I really liked and I thought was really pretty. I've always been like super inspired and loved like the 1800s and like Gone with the Wind and all of those movies and books and stuff. And so I just absolutely love the different cultured houses and stuff that you would see in those times. And so this is kind of where I got that idea. So I kind of envisioned this house being built like a really long time ago and then was kind of updated a little bit to suit more modern times for the family who lives here, but it's not necessarily all the way modern. So by the end of this build, it's kind of like a mixture between modern and old colonial. Georgia home is kind of what I'm imagining in my head when I'm building this. But right now I'm just putting in the I actually don't know what you would call those, but I wanted windows coming out of the roof, and so I had to make these unusable like half rooms in the house in order to put what I wanted. It actually ends up coming out to look really good, but you can see here I'm like, is that high enough? It doesn't look right. And then I was like switching the roof around to try to make it look better. And originally when I built this, I was only going to have it on the front side, but then when I was kind of like going along, I was like, well, it doesn't look right if it's only on one side. And the OCD person in me was like, no, Nicole, you have to have it on both sides. And so I go ahead and put it on the other side too to kind of even it out for myself. That probably wouldn't bother most people. Like if you just look at it right now, like it doesn't really bother me. But when I was building, because I was staring at it for so long, I was just like, it just looks weird that this is not also on the back. It was driving me insane. So I think in like 2 or 3 minutes, I ended up doing the same thing on the other side. But I kind of like this because when I think of like older homes, I always imagine those spooky stories where they're like, and then we looked up into the up window of the attic and there was like a person standing there. And so when I'm building this right now, I kept seeing like, I don't know, just like some like ghost lady or something standing in the window, just like looking down over the people who live in this house. And so I was trying to, so that's what I imagine kind of the attic would be, is just right there. And then right now, because it's obviously an old colonial home, they would have a fireplace. Now, when I made this, I'm just now realizing this. I was not thinking that this would be a working fireplace. So what's funny is that there is a fireplace in this house for sure. But the fireplace in this house does not correlate to where that fireplace frame is on the outside. So to kind of rectify my thoughts on that, I would just say like maybe back when the house was built, there was a fireplace there, which is now kind of the area of the kitchen, and then they just in the stairway kind of. And so they decided though that they wanted to put a new stairway there and a kitchen there, And so they had to move everything around. And so the fireplace is now on the other side of the house. However, they kept the old outside frame of the fireplace just because it goes with the aesthetic of the house. So we're going to kind of go with that because there's absolutely not a fireplace on the inside where this fireplace chimney is. That's like a stairwell, and on the upper floor, it's still a stairwell on the upper floor, I think. Yeah. And then obviously the attic on top. So right here, you're like, why is she putting all these things around the roof? I'm going to do the house that I thought would caught my attention that was really cool, had this really pretty kind of overhang from their roof and like a complete wraparound porch, and it just looked really awesome. Now, I'm going into the columns here, but the one thing that super annoys me about Sims is that you can't just have 2-story columns, or if you can, I don't know the way. So in order to make it look like I had 2-story columns, I had to put a column down on the first floor and then put a column down on the second floor, right above it. So it doesn't look completely right, but in my mind, if you don't look at it too directly, it looks good from far away. So that's kind of what I kind of went with that. Excuse me. But yeah, so right now I'm just making the overhang, and you can see I'm pulling out the columns, and I'm like, it won't go all the way up. And so now I'm having to put 2 layers of the columns, but I'm going to go all the way around the house first. Does that annoy anybody else that there's not 2 layers of the 2-story columns in this game? Because most people build at least 2 stories in this game. I mean, there's the rare occasions that you build 1, but you would think that they would have taller columns just the way they have taller doors and taller walls, there could be and maybe not all of the columns could be 2 stories, but a few of them you would think they would make 2 stories. But you can see now I'm wrapping them all the way around the house because with the overhang that we have around the roof, you would need something pretty strong to support that overhang. And if you're looking at the roof now, you'll notice that when I put that overhang around the roof, it messed up my attic windows and stuff. But at this point, I haven't noticed it yet. I'll end up noticing it a little bit later on and fix it. But at this point, I haven't noticed it yet. But yeah, so from far away, I think it looks good. You can't really tell that it's 2 different columns, and maybe there's just an intricate detail in the middle. So I think it ends up looking okay. Obviously wouldn't be my preference, but I think it looks okay. But yeah, right here I'm noticing that it clipped out, and I'm like, well, why is it doing that? And I thought that for some reason there was a glitch, and then it was glitching out my chimney or whatever because it had the 2 bottom layers and then the upper one but not the middle. And then I realized it was just because when I put that overhang around, it just deleted the things that were on that level. So it kept the roofs because the roofs were floating over the walls, but it deleted the walls that were on that level. So I just had to remake them, which didn't take me too long, especially because I already knew it. And I think this is the point where I decide that I'm going to put it on the other side of the house too. I think, maybe. I don't know. But now that I'm looking back at it, this seems now that I'm looking at it as a whole, it seems like a bigger house than when I originally intended it to be. Just because a lot of the older colonial homes they look smaller on the outside, but when you get in the middle, inside the house, they actually seem a whole lot bigger than you would expect. And I guess I can kind of feel that off of this house, but I probably would have made it a little bit smaller, especially because of the lot I decided to put it on. But I mean, if I was smart, I probably would have put this on a 50 times 50 lot. But it ended up working out really well, and I kind of liked the area that the lot was in because it's right next to that river. And I don't know, I just get a more old-timey vibe from this area. So I thought that was really cute. You can hear my dog in the background. She's upset with me because I'm not playing with her. But yeah, I had to take her bone away because she was banging it against the floor when I first tried to record this voiceover. And she was banging against the floor, and all you could hear in the background was scrape, scrape, bang, bang. And so I had to take her bone away. And so that's probably why she's upset with me. I'm sorry, Evie. And it's Evie, not from Pokemon. It's Evie, E-V-I-E. So she is a purebred miniature Australian Shepherd, I should clarify. Yeah, she's a miniature. And she is a black and white bi, which means that she's just 2 colors versus how most Australian Shepherds are 3 colors. So she's just black and white. She's my spirit animal because she's super needy, just like me. And my husband all the time is like, she's literally just like you. And I'm like, you're right, honey, she is. So it's just funny because we fill each other's needs for love. So right now she's going crazy at me because she wants me to play with her. But she's a super active puppy and absolutely loves bones and toys, and she goes crazy anytime we get her a new tennis ball or anything like that. And so right now she's pushed all of her tennis balls underneath the couch, and so she can't get them. And don't feel sorry for her because at first we would get them out for her, but then we realized she was doing it on purpose, so we no longer feel bad for her. And you might think, wow, That's pretty harsh. But when you've had to go under your couch at least 3 or 4 times a day to retrieve the balls that your dog is purposely throwing under the couch, you would feel the same way too. Get down, Evie. So yeah, but she has plenty of toys. So there's other stuff besides her balls that roll under the couch that she can play with. So don't feel too sympathetic for her. She'll be fine. But yeah, so she is a purebred Australian Shepherd, and she's got one of those little, like, chopped off tails. I guess just the family line that she comes from. I guess it was bred out. But so it's really cute when she wags her tail because her little bottom just kind of like shakes back and forth. She probably has a little bit of a longer tail than most people do. Or not people, I'm sorry. People don't have tails. She probably has a little bit of a longer tail than most of dogs with the cutoff tail have. Like her sister, who we actually frequently see also, has a little bit of a shorter one, whereas Evie has a little bit of a longer one. But it's still really not there. You can hear her making sounds at me because she's upset that I'm not playing with her. She's really not, surprisingly, because most Australian Shepherds are pretty vocal dogs. She's really not that vocal of a dog, considering her breed. She, like, rarely barks unless, like, there's somebody, like, at the door or, like, she's upset that you're not playing with her after, like, however long. A majority of the time, she just kind of does that little bit of a whiny sound to get your attention, which is really nice because before her, I had a golden retriever who, like, never barked. And so going from a dog that never barked to potentially getting a dog who barks a lot, I was, like, really nervous about it. But she doesn't bark at all. And I don't know if it's because we don't have another dog for her to bark with or she doesn't hear other dogs barking. So I don't know if she just, like, maybe if we had another dog who barked, like, she would too. But so she doesn't bark at all, which is really nice. And I appreciate it because I'm not a huge fan of barking. But she was just too cute to pass up on. But back to the build. So right now we're just changing the roof trim and all that kind of stuff and painting bricking the fireplace chimney area. And then we did end up putting that on the second backside, the same thing that we did in the front, just so it kind of looks a little bit even. I struggled with what color of brick to do for the outside of this chimney just because I originally was like, oh, I'll just do like a cute little normal red brick, but it didn't really go with the fact that it was like a older colonial home. And so I was trying to think, like, if this place did have a chimney, it would probably have been wood, but I didn't really like how it looked with wood, so I just decided that I was going to go with a darker black brick kind of thing. But I think it ends up looking really good, and it kind of adds a little bit of a feature on the outside of the wall. So right now we're just adding a little bit of foundation. I didn't make the foundation of this house too high just because I didn't think, like, if this house was built a long time ago, that their foundation would be super duper high. So the porch doesn't go up that high, but I still think it looks really good. And we're just kind of finishing off the stairways and everything. And I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but I absolutely love those new doors from Strangerville. They're from Strangerville, right? I'm pretty sure they're from Strangerville. I absolutely love them. They're like the best gem in that whole pack. And not only did we get like 1 or 2 really good ones, but we got like multiple really nice doors. And like I absolutely love them. They're amazing. But anyways, off the doors. So we're putting just some side railing on around the base of the house. And I don't think I said this, but at the beginning, or a little bit a while ago, we put like a darker brownish black trim around the top of that overhang around the roof just to kind of add a little bit of pop and definition to it. And then right now we're just we moved the house a little bit forward because it was too far back so we could have a backyard. And right now I'm working on landscaping because before I didn't really like how the grass looked. So I'm like smoothing it out so that way I can add a little bit of a different texture to it. I didn't like the one I picked, and so I went back. But just to actually make it look a little bit more realistic, I think I said this in my last building video, I'm not the best person at landscaping, but I do try. But the only thing I don't super like about our grass in The Sims is that a lot of it is like too smooth. So like they do a really good job of detailing around the world for the grass and stuff, which is what like it should look like. But a lot of the times the lots don't look like that. They look really smooth, which doesn't really make sense because unless you really, really, really take care of your grass isn't going to look like that. But now we're just doing the outside of the house so we did our pathway in the front, and then right now we're building the backyard. I was originally going to put a fence all the way around, but then I was like, no, like they would probably just have fenced off their backyard and left their front yard kind of like a walk-up way. And so I just fenced in the back with that heavier brick wall. And right now I'm trying to figure out what trees I want to use and where I want to place them. These trees that I have in here are probably the trees I use the most, along with these bushes. I use these a lot. They're probably like my staple bushes that I use. Like you can see I'm about to put them like all the way around the house because they cover up a little bit of the foundation and they look so realistic versus the other bushes that are a little bit shorter and they go a little bit higher. You can kind of see them to the right and the bottom of the image. But I don't really like them because they look fake, whereas these I think look a little bit more realistic. And then I think the same as my last video, I like to put flowers and rocks and stuff around the base of a tree because rarely do you ever see like a tree that's just like standing pristinely in the middle of like a yard with nothing else around it. Like people usually put flowers around the base of their trees or near them, or they put like some type of brick pattern going around them to like rope them off and stuff. And I figured if this was like an older house too on an older lot that had kind of more mature landscaping stuff, they would probably have like wildflowers and stuff around that just kind of like was there. And then right here, now that I'm looking back, and I'm not a huge fan of it, but I'm putting these pink bushes here just to kind of add something a little bit extra into the front yard, which I still think it looks okay, but I'm still not a huge fan. Oh, that's right, I think I ended up adding rocks to it and made it look a little better. Okay, so I think I like it a little bit better now. Yeah, okay, I do like it a little bit, because right then I just look like I put 3 bushes together. I forgot that I put some rocks in it to kind of merge it all together. So now we're just in the backyard and we're adding in a pool. Like I said, they probably modernized this house once they bought it, and a wealthy family would probably have to buy this house because it is, like whenever you see these really nice big old colonial homes, like they usually have been bought by a more wealthier person who has modernized it a little bit. So I gave them a pool, and right now we're just doing like kind of the patio area that would be like in the backyard and around the house. And I think I ended up moving, I ended up adding more of a pathway. Yeah, there we go. I make it thicker around because it was too small. You may think, why does she not know how she built this house? It's because I built this. I meant to like edit this video a long time ago, but I got busy with work. And so I built this house, I want to say it was Monday, and today is Saturday. So it's been like 5 days since I built this house. And actually, wait, so this one probably would have been built on Sunday, and then Monday when I had off, the second part was built. So this part I haven't seen since Sunday. For those of you who don't know, because this is a brand new channel, I'm a teacher, and so we had Monday off for bad weather makeup day. And for where I live in Texas, we don't really have much bad weather, and so it was just an easy day off. So that was nice. So I got like a 4-day weekend because it was Good Friday and then Saturday, Sunday, and then we had a bad weather makeup day the day after. But yeah, so school's coming to an end though soon, so I'll have a lot more time to record and edit and make a lot of videos this summer because this is something I'm pretty excited about doing. So right there, I'm just landscaping the backyard and adding a little bit of stuff to make it a little bit more lively. I decided that like whoever probably lived in this house was probably a little bit older and they probably had a lot of grandkids, or even if it is just a family living in this house, they probably had grandkids. And so I put in like a little, what do you call those? Monkey bars. Oh my gosh, I just blanked for a second. I put in some monkey bars in there so that way like when the kids come over, they could swim in the pool and they could play on the monkey bars, and it would just be like a little happy place for the kids in the backyard. I enjoy landscaping, and I think I am getting better at it the more and more I kind of do it. But for example, I said before that I don't really build very large houses, and so when I have to do landscaping for really large houses, it's a lot harder to do versus like when I just do a little bit of landscaping for a small to medium sized house, because the lots aren't that big, and then there's not that much area for you to like actually landscape on it. And so I occasionally do a few bushes here and there and then a few trees, and then I'm done with it. This house did take a lot more landscaping as far as like making the backyard look a little bit prettier and taken care of, and then the front yard also. I'm sure I could have done a better job, but I still think it looks pretty good and it turned out pretty nice. Right now we're just trying to figure out what we kind of want, like what I would consider like the barbecuing area to look like. So I imagine like this family would totally have like Sunday barbecues out by the pool. Every weekend it would be like a family tradition thing. Everybody would come over and they would have like a barbecue and everything. And so I was originally going to do just a picnic table, but I was like, well, this is a nicer house. It's a little bit more classy. So they would probably have a little bit of a nicer table outside. And so I decided to go with that nice glass table. And then I wanted to, I think I ended up moving that trash can because I didn't like where it was put or placed or whatnot. I wish this game had, and it might I think there's a pack called Cool Patio Stuff or patio or something patio backyard stuff. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure it doesn't have what I'm about to say. But I kind of wanted some type of like counter that could attach to the grill, because when you see like nicer homes, like they don't usually just have like a standalone grill. Their grill is like built into like some type of like brick counter and stuff, which is really nice. But yeah, so this is kind of like the end of the build. We're just kind of adding a few touches here and there. But if you liked this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. It really helps when y'all like the video. I would love for you to subscribe to the channel just to see more videos. Right now we have a Let's Play going on with somebody named Cassandra Burrell, and she's a runaway teen, and there's a whole backstory. The videos are on my channel. There's episode 1, 2, and 3 are out. But yeah, so we've been having a lot of fun in that Let's Play. So if that's something that you'd be interested in watching, go ahead and head over to those videos. But like I said, go ahead and hit that like or subscribe button. We'd love to have you join our channel family. And that's about the end of this video. So I hope that y'all have a great rest of your day, and I hope that you come back for the next video. All right, I will see y'all soon. Goodbye.